game NFL interview. You heard Shedeur McCoy give out a chuckle. Brash and arrogant is what they said about Shedeur Sanders.
In the top 7, too.
No doubt about it. That's the quarterback coach. 2-5, I'm going to let you sound off real quick. What do you make of it? Do you have an issue with it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you could say this to your coaches, your ownership, your GM, right? But why are you saying it to the media, right? And another thing is, like, I hate when people don't ever, like, put a name on it. Like, because who's really saying that?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of coaches that probably was a quarterback, probably didn't play, right? Probably was a backup, probably never went to the NFL, right? Probably wasn't secure on who he was. And guys that were superstars that had swagger to them, they call it arrogance. And he can't fit with them guys. Probably a guy that never had no attention, nobody really talked to him. You get in the NFL, now you got some type of voice. I hate them type of dudes, because I play with guys like that, right? And it's like you want to whisper behind somebody's back, and it makes you, I guess, feel weird because Shedur is super confident.
Yeah.
Because Shedur knows who he is. Shedur knows what he brings to a team. He knows his talent, right? And that makes you uncomfortable. I hate people like that, man. And that's why you see a lot of players that get traded, a lot of players that have issues with the coaches because they make that narrative of them.
Yeah, that's really well said. Shady got me thinking what he just said. I think, and we will see a lot of this, I think Shedeur Sanders' security makes a lot of people insecure.
No question.
I think Shedeur Sanders realizing, wait a second, I've made money before I got into the NFL. Wait a second, my pops has already taught me about the value not only of money, but the value, most importantly, of myself. Shedeur Sanders has realized, wait a second, who are you to dictate how I should feel, how I should think, how I should act, and how I should move? Furthermore, apple tree, it don't fall far from it. Who you think his dad was? Remember 1989, the New York Giants wanted to interview Deion Sanders. The New York Giants, they simply said, hey, Deion, we want you to take this written test. Deion said, why am I taking a written test? The Giants said, well, we make all of our draft picks, potential draft picks, take it. Deion said, hey, where do y'all pick at? They said, in the 17 range. Deion Sanders said, oh, I'm going to be long gone before y'all ever pick. And he walked up out the room. Apple, tree, who you think raised Shedeur Sanders? So when Shedeur Sanders, I would suggest, comes off as confident, comes off as secure, comes off as knowing who he is, you, insecure, dictate his security is something that's an issue. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
What you got, James?
I hate it. I hate every bit of it because this is how rumors get started. And this is a attack at this young man's character. You know, I hate when people do this because now, when Shedur does meet with teams, they're going to probably ask him some questions about this. And now he's going to have to address his character. So me coming off confidence, you saying, hey, man, can you change around the franchise? I done changed around 2. I could change around another one. But what I'm saying is that may come off arrogant to you. That's just me being confident.
Correct.
That's me. That's how I grew up. That's what my dad taught me. I'm confident. I could change around your organization. You might not like the way I say it, but that don't mean I'm arrogant, and that don't mean that I'm not coachable and all that, because I feel like that's an attack at Shedur, because you basically saying, man, I don't know if this dude is coming in here coachable and all. That's all this is going to stem to, and everybody's going to start to attack that. I remember when I signed with the Raiders, right? After my second day of OTA practices, Dennis Allen gets up there to the media and he says, James Jones lost a step. And I had to answer those questions, and I'm like, I don't really know what he's talking about, because I don't know if he thought he was getting Deshaun Jackson. Now, when he turned my tape on from Green Bay, I got 80 yarders. I got 90 yards. I got all that. But it's not because I'm a Blazer. It's because I'm a football player. But now you got the whole league thinking I done lost a step because of some stupid comments you said. So now this man coming out saying this, you gonna have everybody thinking, is he arrogant? Oh, yeah, I don't like the way he say that. But it's the same dude that stood up there after the bowl game and they asked him all these questions, or before the bowl game, they asked him all these questions, and he like, my teammates up here too. Why y'all just talking to me? It's the same dude at the combine that they say, who you want to throw to, and he named every Colorado receiver. But you want to come into the meeting because he's stepping in there, he got money, he got any car he want, his dad is wealthy, everybody cool. I don't need y'all. I don't need y'all. James Jones needed the NFL. I was homeless. I needed y'all. What y'all need? You need me to draw? I needed y'all because I needed to provide for my... I don't need y'all. I'm good. So that's how I'm kind of coming off too, and you don't like it. And you're telling everybody all that.
That is the pivotal difference. If we're going to go there, let's go there, because I do think that's the difference between Shedeur Sanders, both at quarterback and historically speaking at quarterbacks. I don't know if the NFL has seen a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders. Black player, what I mean by that? You got a black QB, 2 black parents who, Shedeur's already has money. Shedeur got a parent with money. Shedeur coming from college with money. First off, you haven't seen quarterbacks come from college with money because NIL is new. So we've only seen about three draft classes of quarterbacks come with money. Furthermore, you don't see a quarterback like Shedur who's already saying, you know what, Combine, I don't need y'all. I don't need y'all. I don't need y'all. Like, now, I think there's somewhere in the middle because the NFL doesn't need Shedur. But Shedeur simultaneously, like, I'm not just going to sit here and do, oh, y'all say jump, I say how high. Y'all say run, I say how fast. Think about it, Chase. Back in the day, bro, the Combine, you go into the Combine and you are performing.
Yeah, no doubt.
You for sure not go in there as swaggy as Shedur went there. I'll put it like that. Like, I remember the NFL Combine. This is where I first met Russell Wilson. NFL Combine in a Senior Bowl. My dog came in a full suit. Everybody else kind of, I'm like, oh, because you care so much about your image because there's so much money on the line. You came in this joint with a full suit. Shedur went with his 2 chains and his hat on backwards and said, I'm going to give y'all who I am. I'm not going to suck up for y'all.
I don't know if I agree with the assessment that Shedur doesn't need the NFL. Like, he wants the NFL.
Correct. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
But
difference between being homeless and needing to get your mom a crib and needing to get your mom and pop a house, and your dad is making $15, $16 million a year. Need and want are very different.
Really quick before you give your take, Chase, the only reason why I said that is because Deion and Shedur is the first black parents to say, we're not going here. I will protect my son, and he won't be going here. He the first really black dad to be able to say that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the other ones, the Eli Mannings and all that, why you think they said that, Chase? Because they didn't need the NFL, they didn't need the bread, they didn't need all that. So that's the situation that he is in right now. It's a lot of the other black quarterbacks coming in that grew up like me or whatever, and they needed it. Shedur don't. And I'm coming off confident.
I think that's a little bit of an issue for some teams.
I agree.
No, if you don't need the NFL, if you don't need something, are you going to work as hard as you humanly can? Just psychology-wise.
But I've been working.
But I'm just saying. Think about it. Look, let me just get to the point because I haven't even we've gone through.
But no, that's good. That's good. If you find somewhere better, take us there.
Well, no. I just think like the issue with the quarterback coach's assessment of Shedur, brash and arrogant. I have no issue whatsoever with that. Like a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator, they are entitled to their opinion of a player.
1,000%.
And quite honestly, they're probably not the only coaches that think that about Shedur because at times it does come off as arrogant. I think he's more confident than arrogant, but at times stuff he says, sure, I can see that.
1,000%.
My issue with it is exactly what James Jones and Shady and you were saying is, why are you trying to tell it to everybody else? Let themselves make their own opinion of the guy, especially a young guy. Because I'm okay with you saying it to the front office, because that's your job as a quarterback coach. I'm okay with you saying it to your offensive coordinator. That's your job as a quarterback coach. Your job is to evaluate. And quite honestly, Shedur never has been and never will be everyone's cup of tea. And you gotta figure out, can you win with this guy? Some teams, yes, some teams like the juice ain't worth the squeeze, my guy. Because exactly what you said, and that's just the truth of it, 32 owners, I don't know if they're like, if you don't need the NFL, why are you going number 7? Why are you going number 6? If you don't need this, if you act like that, I'm not saying he does, I'm just saying what you said. Now, the biggest issue I have with this is attacking people's character. When I got into the business of broadcasting, I was told by multiple people, and I still live by this today, never ever attack the player. You can criticize the play. So you can't criticize the player himself as James Jones, like, oh man, you're brash, you know what, you take too many sacks, you do this. There's a difference, and I think it honestly, when it puts something into a fan base's mind and opinion before you even step on the field. And I think that's not fair. Look what happened to Tunsil a couple years ago. Now he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, but he dropped in the draft. He's supposed to be top 5. He went to 13. Now he's played well, but it still took a few years for them to get out the gas mask out of their head. Like, oh my God. Like, I think that is such low life stuff to try when a young man is trying to make his way in the NFL. I think that's what I think about the tape.
You know what's crazy is because every good quarterback that I've been around got a little arrogance to him.
You have
all
to.
of them.
You understand what I'm saying?
No matter what color they all got.
No matter what color, no matter what it is, eventually they have some arrogance to them. So just because this young fella's coming off with that during some interviews, this is what you're going to get out of that, because all quarterbacks have it. And it brings you back to so many situations. If Bo Nix is yelling back at Sean Payton, oh, we love it. Look at, and if certain other players is doing it, what is he doing? Why is he talking about? That's part of it. I just hate you're attacking this young man and you don't know this young man. And this young man came off with a whole lot of confidence in these meetings, because you know who talking to him and preparing him for his meetings? His daddy. You the quarterback. You get up in there, you talk with a bunch of confidence, you let him know that you're ready to take over an organization and all that type of stuff. And to one dude to come out and say it, and not just when Shedur leaves the room talk, hey, man, he do.
Reporters.
You understand?
Yeah.
To come out and say it,
no need.
I hate you attacking this young man, and you don't even know Shedur, dog.
There is something interesting Chase said, and I do think it's actually accurate, that teams can and will judge you if they don't feel like you need this.
No doubt.
Because some teams are like, oh, if you don't need this, you might not want this as bad. I've heard coaches have actually said this on the record in regards to recruits.
It's the
no,
truth.
wait. I think Deion said it. I think Deion said it about his defensive lineman, and he got in trouble for it. I think he said, like, I want dudes who, I don't know if he said, like, what did he say? You remember?
He said, I want my quarterbacks to have 2 parents in the house.
Yep.
And I want my DNs and all that to be single parents.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a second. I think Deion even said it.
But see, okay, so like I played with dudes that had money. Like Patrick Mahomes wasn't poor. Was he? No.
No, his dad was in there.
Okay, Josh Allen, people had paper. and they weren't, those guys, I bring them up because not only are they the best in the league, but they dogs.
Yeah.
When I look at Lamar Jackson, he's a dog, right? He come from the streets. We come from where we come from.
No doubt.
But Pat, the same dog, and he didn't come from that. So when I just like, sometimes I feel like, what are we talking about here? Because people make these narratives on kids because the way they might talk, the way they got their jewelry. What does that mean? We play football. So yeah, I don't need, there's players I played with. Brent Selleck, one of my favorite teammates.
Brent.
Right? I remember joking with him like he had a nanny and like when he was a little kid, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he loved the game. He didn't need the league, but he loved the game. So if you don't need the league, but you love it, you're passionate about it, why does that matter?
It matters at the quarterback position. It just does, regardless of.
I don't think
Absolutely.
so.
Absolutely.
But you see,
Because exactly what you said, guys. Like you got to think about the owner's perspective, man. They're paying a ton of money. They're going to spend a high draft pick. Hopefully, if Shedur goes in the first round, because I do think he's got the first round talent. Now he's got some room to grow. But if you're spending that kind of capital and you have 4 years, why would you, if there's other people in the same thing, I can't get with that. I can't get with, I don't need the NFL. Okay, that's great. You don't.
So what about
but you want the NFL because you're following in your dad's footsteps.
What about the Manning family though? They didn't need football. And they say we're going here, we're not going here. We doing this, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't think you should let the process play out. Now, I like his dad and it's his dad. Like,
But if I sit here, because you say you don't like that, but if I sit here and we just start going through our phones and go to Google and we start looking up players that come from money that don't need the league, it's all about how you go against the game.
I think you're talking about money, but I don't know. Like, it's just to say you don't need the league. Think about how that comes off.
But that's the thing. He didn't say that. This dude that's putting the reports out saying that. And that's why I hate it, because we are talking about Shedur don't love the game now, which is crazy. The man been raised by his daddy. You think he ain't taught him how to be a dog? I have 2 boys that grow up in a real nice neighborhood, gated and all that type stuff. No worry. Dogs. You understand what I'm saying? So for somebody to say my boys don't love the game and I know how hard they worked since they was 5 years old and how hard I pushed them, it's crazy.
No one said they didn't love the game.
And we're talking about that because of what this dude said. No, but we're sitting
No
here.
one said that.
No, we're sitting here saying that he don't need the NFL and they're worried about is he going to work hard or not. You said that.
No, I was reacting to you saying he doesn't need the NFL.
So I guess we saying when you say need the NFL, it's like people that have money and they don't have money. So like I need the NFL, right? I need to get my mom and dad a house, cars. I need that.
You and me both.
But there's some players that don't need, like Shedur don't need the NFL.
If you don't need something, don't you think you're not going to work as hard at it?
But that's like
That's where I disagree.
And that's where you're
just asking all day. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, if you're talking about like certain players that don't need the league, like I just gave you Mahomes, he didn't need the league. Josh Allen got money. They don't need the league, but they still passionate about the game. So you could not need the league, but still.
That's all I'm.
Love. If you've been playing against, you've been 5, you love it.
I never questioned him loving the game.
But
I
never once questioned
I do.
that.
But the dilemma is this, and I'll give it a story for him. I met with the general manager at the NFL Combine getting ready for the draft, right? Y'all know what it is. It's like 11 o'clock at night. You go into the room.
tired.
It's the GM. It's the head coach. I meet with the GM. I'll keep his name anonymous for now. I meet with the general manager of a team, and he's asking me, so Acho, tell me about your parents. I'm like, they've been married. They would have been married. They've been married 31 years now if it was 13 or some years ago. They've been married 31 years now. What do they do? I'm like, my dad has his PhD in psychology. My mom has her doctorate in nurse practitioner. He's like, okay. He's like, what's the hardest thing you've ever been through in life? Any deaths, any tragedies, any this, any that? I'm like, not really. I'm like, I've never drank, never smoked. I was like, I had to that was pretty tough in college. He's like, okay. He was like, any other tragedy? You grow up homeless, grow up in the streets. I'm like, nah. I mean, we started off, lower middle class. When my dad got his PhD, worked his way up, came from Nigeria with nothing. He's like, okay. He's like, okay, I don't know if you'll be great for our team, but you'll make a great leader of men one day. Nice to meet you. And I was like, oh, snap. He told me that.
This happens these kind of conversations happen all the time.
Essentially, he was like, oh, bro, you ain't been through nothing. So I don't really know that we can draft you because, your life just kind of been too easy. So I don't really know if you got that kind of that dog in you. And I was like, oh, it was fascinating because I was like, dang, I didn't give no answer he wanted. I'm like, I ain't grow up in this, I ain't grow up in that.
You can't change who you are, dog.
So I was just like, to chase this point, I do think some people might incorrectly, mind you, I think some people might look at Shedur and be like, oh, well, you got it so good. Are you going to be as passionate? Are you going to give us the same? I don't know, because I'm not the general manager who judges.
Let's be clear, I didn't say that. We're reacting to what they said. I just don't know. I didn't agree with your doesn't need the NFL. I want my quarterback to need and want and enjoy and want to play and want to be a game changer. And I think Shedur does that.
You misheard me then, because I said I meant don't need it financially.
Gotcha. That's
I walked into these meeting rooms and I'm like, shoot, I got to, whatever they say really got to go. I just want to let them know, man. Shedur don't have to do that financially.
Yeah, NIL.
But everything this dude has showed us on the football field and as a leader of his teammates is that he loves the dang game. His dad been coaching him in Little League since he was 5. You think he ain't raising no dogs? We even see Shiloh be trying to knock people's head off. You think he ain't raised no dogs?
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.